warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Today our group will present about the annual report from the two company, which is Opensys and Berhad and Omesti Berhad company. Before we go to main issue about the annual report, I will share with you all about what is the financial accounting. A section of accounting that tracks a company's financial activity is known as financial accounting. It refers to the classification, analysis, summarization, and recording to financial transactions such as purchase, sale, account payable and receivable, and eventually the preparation of financial statement. Owner or shareholder, as well as some lender, will benefit from this financial statement in the future. If a company or stock is publicly traded, however, its financial statements are usually widely disseminated and the information is likely to reach secondary recipients such as competitor, customer, employer, labor organization, and investment analysis. There are 5 main components of financial accounting. First, asset. All firm resources that have worked to enable the company to the operation is the short and long term use are considered as asset. Liability. The responsible of a firm to pay a set amount of money to both external and internal parties is known as liability. And third is equity. The amount of right or interest the company owner have in the company asset is referred to as equity. The fourth is revenue. Revenue, also known as income or profit, is the money of company made from its operation, such as the selling of goods and service. And the last is cost. Cost is the amount of money spent by a firm to finance its activity. This task of completing a financial statement analysis has been assigned to our group 2. In this study, we analyze and assess the company performance using a few components. The financial ratio is the component that we use to determine the company. Current ratio, quick ratio, total asset turnover, account receivable turnover, inventory turnover, profit margin, return on asset, debit ratio, and debit equity ratio are the financial ratio we utilize. Our group hired Opensys and Berhad and Omesti Berhad company as our research firm. We also examine each of the ratio that have been established.
Hello, my name is Nuriza binti Rififadi. My metric number is 287065. Methodology describes how a problem is studied and why a method and the techniques are used. The purpose of the methodology is to help understand more broadly and in more detail about the application of the research method. The method that has been used is secondary data. Secondary data is ancillary information used in conducting the study. We have used several sources to obtain information in the study. Among them are reference book, website, internet, and dictionaries. For reference book, in the study, several books were used to obtain information in order to analyze the study completely. Among them is 12th edition of the reference book Principle of Accounting by Velvet Needles. The information obtained from this book can further complement the study with clearer and more detailed information. Secondly is website. The website will be browsed for the purpose of obtaining information related to Syarikat Opensys and Berhad and Syarikat Omesti Berhad. Thirdly is internet. According to the 4th edition Hall Dictionary, the internet is an international computer network that allows users around the world to connect with each other and access database information from all around the world. The internet method helps researchers get information about the study conducted easily and quickly. Broad dictionary. Researchers use the broad dictionary to search for specific terms, important concepts, and definition based on the title of the study.
Hello, lecturer and my fellow friends. My name is Saranya, Doctor of Mageswaran. My metric number is 287300. Next, I would like to continue with 3.0, background of the company. Therefore, 2 company, 3.1, Opensys and Berhad company, 3.2, Omesti Berhad company. 3.1 Opensys and Berhad company's background. Opensys and Berhad is a publicity trade company on the Malaysian Stock Exchange, Bursa Malaysia. It provides financial services, telecommunications and utilities companies with solutions that improve productivity and effectiveness. Therefore, got two segments: Efficient Service Machine (ESM) and Software Solution and Service (SSS). Efficient service machines are purchased, manufactured and distributed by the Efficient Services Machines segment. Sales of software, licensing and the retaining of ESM machines are included in the Software Solution and Services sections. All of the activities are mostly in the Malaysian region. The group will continue to conduct a comprehensive assessment interest with the internal and external stockholders in the coming financial year. Next, we appear to be a publicly traded firm on the Malaysia Stock Exchange in Bursa, Malaysia. We may now use the 100 years of experience in manpower to provide solution for everyone, either big or little. 3.2 Omesti Berhad Company's background. Omesti Berhad is the conglomerate of ICT, therefore information and communication technology companies. The activities center on the creation and execution solutions that assist business in achieving their digital transformations goals. The group can service many industries in the commercial or public sectors, including telecommunications, logistics, judiciary, regulation, finance, insurance, utilities and manufacturing. The group was able to return theory and acclimate some significant results throughout the financial quarter. The goal is Omesti as focused on developing solutions allow organization to function productively by many places, response the complexity to quickly adjust to the new working environment.
Good morning, sir. My name is Berhad. My matric number is 2x76666. Now I want to present 4.1 Lecture Corporation Omesti Berhad and Opensys and Berhad Group 2020. First is liquidity ratio. The current ratio of Omesti Berhad is 0.868, which means that it has 0.8668 times its liability in assets. Opensys Berhad is 3.3205, which means that it has 3.3205 times its liability in asset. Omesti Berhad and Opensys and Berhad company have more current assets than current liabilities, which means Omesti Berhad and Opensys Berhad company have positive working capital. Next is quick ratio. Omesti Berhad has a quick ratio of 0.8458. It has 0.8458 of current assets for every RM1 of current liabilities. Opensys and Berhad has a quick ratio of 2.8768. It has 2.8768 of current assets for every RM1 of current liabilities. Omesti Berhad have a quick ratio of less than 1, may not be able to fully pay off its current liabilities in a short term. 5. Opensys Berhad have a quick ratio higher than 1 can instantly get rid of its current liabilities. Next is activity ratio, inventory turnover. Omesti Berhad has used or buy 67.3083 times inventory in 1 year. Opensys Berhad has used or buy 7.1994 times inventory in 1 year. Omesti Berhad inventory turnover is higher than Opensys Berhad inventory turnover. Higher inventory turnover ratio are considered a protective indicator of effective inventory management. Hence, Omesti Berhad has efficient inventory management. Next is total asset turnover. Omesti Berhad has 0.6585 total asset turnover, and Opensys and Berhad have 0.2776 total asset turnover. Omesti Berhad has a higher asset turnover ratio than Opensys Berhad, which means Omesti Berhad is more efficient at generating revenue from company asset. Next is account receivable turnover. Omesti Berhad have 4.1136 account receivable turnover, and Opensys and Berhad have 1.9250 account receivable turnover. Omesti Berhad is efficient at collecting on its payment due than Opensys and Berhad because Omesti Berhad has a higher account receivable to turnover ratio than Opensys and Berhad.
Good morning to the sir and my fellow classmates. My name is Zi. Meeting number is 286803. Today I want to talk about the profitability ratio for the Omesti Berhad and Opensys Berhad. The profitability ratio has included profit margin on sales and return on asset. For the profit margin on sales, Omesti Berhad is 0.094 and the Opensys Berhad is 0.3982. So we can note that Omesti Berhad has 9.4% profit margin on sales that equals to a net income of 0.094 for every ringgit in sales, and Opensys Berhad has 39.03% profit margin on sales had equal to a net income of 0.3982 for every ringgit in sales. So according to the report, we can see that Opensys Berhad has a bigger profit margin on sales than Omesti Berhad. It also shows that Opensys Berhad net income is higher than Omesti Berhad. Next is the return on asset. Return on asset for the Omesti Berhad is 0.0619 and return on asset for the Opensys Berhad is 0.1083. So we can note that Omesti Berhad has 6.19% of return on asset and Opensys Berhad has 10.983% of return on asset. So it shows that Opensys Berhad has a bigger return on asset than Omesti Berhad. Next is the leverage ratio. Leverage ratio has included debit to assets ratio and debit to equity ratio. For the debit to assets ratio, Omesti Berhad has debit to assets ratio 0.5143. Debit to assets ratio 0.5143 means that company use RM 0.5143 in debit of every RM1 ringgit of asset. So Omesti Berhad debit level is 51.43% of asset. Next is the Opensys Berhad. Opensys Berhad has debit to assets ratio 0.2927. Debit to assets ratio of 0.2927 means company use RM 0.2927 in debit of every RM1 of asset. So Opensys Berhad debit level is 29.27% of asset. It demonstrates that Omesti Berhad has a greater debit level than Opensys Berhad in terms of asset. Last is the debit to equity ratio. For the Omesti Berhad has debit to equity ratio 1.1179. So debit to equity ratio of 1.1179 means the company use RM 1.1179 in debit for every RM1 of equity. So Omesti Berhad debit level is 111.79% of equity. For the Opensys Berhad has debit to equity ratio 0.4168. Debit to equity ratio of 0.4168 means the company use RM 0.4168 in debit for every RM1 of equity. So Opensys Berhad debit level is 41.68% of equity. In terms of equity, we can see that Omesti Berhad has higher debit level than Opensys Berhad. That's all for me. Thank you.
After we look the more information about the company, we can conclude the creation of financial statement is an important element of financial accounting. According to this study, financial statement depict the accurate feature of a company's financial situation or condition through time. The investigation also revealed the difference in annual report between two companies that our organization has chosen from the year 2020. According to this study, calculating the break-even point can assist a company in establishing the required quantity of production and sale.